Hello. All right. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Okay, this background's kind of cool, but if it gets kind of frustrating, let me know because I know how it is with like green screen stuff. So I have lots to talk to you about today. I'm kind of excited about it. Boy, did I have a shit show happen to me today, but I want you guys to know that it happens to us all. I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. You shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about it. And you should know that it happens to everybody. Okay. And they did it for a reason. They're good and pissed off that I've nailed their ass to the wall. And because recently this private school that the district is paying for decided on their own to cancel school, provide this child asynchronous learning, which means here you go, have fun, here's the work, have a nice day, and said, oh, we're out of teachers, we're so sorry. Now, I know that's a situation, and we love our teachers, and this is a situation that sucks, but how do you take an autism school, take the kids out of school, and say, have at it? We just can't do that. We cannot do that. All right. So for those of you who are just hopping on, my name is Raven Woods. I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mom Rocks IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. With that said, if you're new to joining me live, post a 1 below. This is driving me nuts. I'm going to change it in a minute. Post a 1 below. If you're an oldie but goodie, post a 2 below. And everybody needs to post where you are from. I want to know where you're from. If you want to post something about your child, we want to learn about your children. We want to know more. This is a safe place for you. So we want you to know that. All right. So please feel free to share. And feel free to talk about your loved ones. All right. Okay. I think I like this one better. What do you guys think? Let me know if you hear my fan running, because this whole Snapchat thing really runs your engine and your computer. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to talk about some science that has come out in regards to ADHD that is very interesting. Hey, Kim. Hey, Aaron. Both of you guys, since you guys are my oldies, if you hear my engine, let me know so I can like fix something. But like the fuzziness in my computer. So the science of ADHD and emotions, this is so important. I read this article, and believe it or not, my husband actually has ADHD. It can drive me batshit crazy sometimes. And I'm sure everybody that deals with ADHD themselves or somebody who has ADHD knows that it can drive you nuts. The reason it drives many of us nuts, or more so, is because little do we know about it and all the intricacies of it. We know all the basics that people tell us. Oh, you know, your child may not be able to sit down and watch TV. They're going to be all over the place. They're going to be unfocused. You know, all that normal stuff that we hear and that psychologists will tell us and the experts, right? But one thing I have always learned, and my mother taught me this, was nobody knows everything. All right? Even the experts. The experts, just like myself, I feel like I'm an expert in IEPs. And even I'm always learning. Always. Any advocate, any expert that doesn't always continue to learn, something's going on there. Be careful. So, here's the thing. Has anybody ever heard DESR? DESR. I can hear the fan, but it's not bad for me. Okay. Yeah, it's annoying. I need to send my Apple in, and I'm like, I need it, and I'm like, I don't want to send it in, and then I have to go upstairs, and I have to be on my iMac, which really isn't that bad. I just don't want to go upstairs. Okay. So are is deficient emotional, and share this, guys. This is important. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Hi, Debbie. Hi, Davinia. Hi, BB. How are you guys? Hi, Lana from Oregon. Hi, Jess Ann. Hi, Raven. New York here. God, I hate New York. And other disabilities. It's been hell with the school. Go figure. The past few years, but we are at a better place for my son. Good. Finally, which he just started this month. We will see how it goes. Thank you. I'm glad you're in a better place. We all know how I feel about New York. Lana says, made my resource teachers responsible for not dealing with my children's needs. They are now, especially after I went to the school board, I pressed the issue for an IEP review. Good. Debbie says, what do you think about 7th grade boys and girls giving each other love notes? Oh, that's kind of cute. My boy wrote a note at home last night to give a girl for Valentine's Day, and the teacher took it from him. I think that's kind of cute. I mean, as long as they're not doing anything, nasty or whatever. I mean, I think a note is pretty darn harmless. I think, as a parent of 3 children who are 26, 21, and 16, I think we have other more important battles to fight than that one. So I don't know how you think, Debbie, but I know for me, I learned to pick my battles. Okay, so deficient emotion self-regulation is a core facet in ADHD, but it is excluded from diagnostic criteria. Go figure. Not cool. All right. So we really need to look at that. In historical concepts of ADHD, it goes all the way back in history to 1798. All right, then it talks about 1902, 1960s, 70s, etc. That's how long this has been around, and nobody's talking about it. Then we have the neuroanatomy of it. Okay, I'm not going to get into all the technicals, guys, because you guys can look it up. All right, but that is more how the executive networks implicated in the impact of ADHD. All right, number 3 is emotions and ADHD research. This is the main part for me, and I'm going to give you some examples that I personally deal with family members that not my daughter. My daughter does not have ADHD. She has dyslexia. All right, let me see. I might have to turn this off. All right, can you hear me better now? Let me see. 2 seconds. Let me see. Let's see if I can. Is that better? Okay, good. So it's good now. Okay, yeah. All right, let's see if it doesn't kick you off. Okay. Is that a little bit better, y'all? Better? All right. I'll go upstairs next time. Is that better, y'all? Okay, good. All right. So, emotions and ADHD. A lot of, and I just did a TikTok on this in regards to behavior. How many of you have had, it sounds like it's raining. Okay. Please answer. All right, give me a second. Let me finish. Okay, so when it comes to ADHD and emotions, guys, It's so important because this is where you're going to get notes. Okay, your child wasn't good today. Your child wasn't focused today. They were all over the place. They weren't doing their work. They didn't finish their work. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. In regards to ADHD and all of the notes parents get, and it seems like it's just hammering down on you with all these negative things in regards to your child as if they're just bad children. And they're not bad children. Many people with ADHD, okay, even adults, sure, they have trouble with focus. They have trouble with getting things together and being organized. They have trouble with what we're talking about here, emotions, okay? There's a dysregulation of emotions. If I'm sad and I expect my husband to know, you need to know that I'm sad. I had a bad day today. You need to just know that. I mean, you're supposed to come in the door, walk in the door, and know that I've had a bad day. I had a bad IEP, something didn't work out. I'm sad because my face is sad, and you're supposed to just know that I'm sad. And that's not the case, all right? People with ADHD have some, not all, everybody's different, have difficulty, especially children, recognizing those emotions. So that's where you'll hear stuff, especially, and people associate it with autism, and it's not always autism, all right? So if a lot of times ADHD goes with autism, so people have this assumption that all of pretty much everything goes into that autism category and ADHD is kind of left behind. So if autism is your main category, OHI is like way over here. And if OHI is your main category, then, and say speech and language impairment is the second one, then that's over here. It's like so jacked up. And if the child has a disability, all of them should be treated equally. There is not one any better or worse than the other, okay? The child may be impacted more by one than the other, all right? But that does not mean that one is more important because they both, if there's 2, 3, 4, they all may have different ways in which you need to have your child supported in the school system, all right? So when it comes to those emotions, all right, I know you guys have probably, dealt with this, and I promise, Sherry, I'm going to get to you. I promise I'm not ignoring you, but I won't stay focused if I don't finish. Is if a child is said to say things like, oh, that just was totally out of line. It didn't flow with what the conversation was. Or they were trying to fit in with peers and they kind of talked in left field and it was just an odd conversation that they were just trying to be part of, right? And to be part of everything, right? That is where things are falling in line, okay? Emotionally, they're not connecting. They're trying to be part of, but because of their disability, there's a difficulty. It's very doable, okay, if they're given the right supports and the right help, because you teach them. I taught Sky, all right, and she was taught by actually a really good BCBA, and so she learned, okay, when somebody cries, and this was more her autism, then they're sad. All right. If somebody is yelling, then they're usually pretty mad or frustrated, And a child with ADHD, because they have focus issues, if you're mad or you're sad or the teacher's talking or, say the teacher, I'm loud, right? So maybe the teacher's talking loud and, the child assumes that teacher may be mad. And that could escalate dysregulation of emotion, and behaviors can stem from that. There's meta-analysis. There's a lot of studies in the development of preschool children with this and this emotional dysregulation. There's also studies on families and genetics in ADHD and how, one parent can have it and then a child can have it. And, the emotional dysregulation is quite similar. And it's interesting how that, and this isn't something I believe, and I'm not a psychologist, but I don't believe these kind of quirks, if you will, that's what I call them, in ADHD, are going to horribly impact someone for the rest of their life in some horrible way. You know, ADHD is something that you definitely can learn to deal and cope with. Some people choose medication, some people don't. Some people choose behavior management, some people don't. But bottom line, it is very easily handled by the appropriate accommodations that is individualized for that person. And, you know, the ties to this emotional self-regulation of oneself, think about of just you and I, okay? People that do not have a disability at all. Sometimes we have to have a talk with ourselves, and I know I do, a chat with myself. Okay, Raven, you need to get it together. You know, that talk of like, okay, I need to get it together. I need to calm down. That's what I said this morning. All right. After this IEP, that it was a freaking shit show. When I say shit show, I've had a lot of shit shows, but this was a shit show. I have never in my life experienced such a thing. You guys know that I will tell you all the screw ups that happen. All right. The shit they say, something that I've said, whatever the case may be, because I want you guys to learn. So if I screw up, I'm going to tell you, because I don't want you to repeat it. All right. I have no problems admitting my faults. So my thing is, and I didn't do one thing today. I didn't do anything wrong. Nothing. Scout's honor. I did zero wrong. Nothing. All right. And it was a damn shit show that went absolutely nowhere. You guys are going to be shocked when I tell you about it. All right. And I'm going to tell you the school, and I'm going to tell you everything about it, because they need to be blasted for it. And guess what? They can't do nothing about it, because I got the whole damn thing on recording. So bring it, because I am so pissed off. You do not even know. And I cannot wait to take them to the cleaners. And I do not like saying that, because I would much rather do what I did in my afternoon IEP, where we completely collaborated. And I want to steal this principal and like take him to every school, because he is one that like will step in and he feels like something's being disagreed upon, and he like throws in these really good ideas. And I love that. Like ideas where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Let's go with that goal, you know, and incorporate that. That is a great team, you know. But this shit show stuff, I am so over it. I am so over it. And it was games they were playing on purpose. And you want to know why? It was because, and they said it on recording, we need to just get through this IEP. We've been dealing with this IEP for several times now, and we need to just get through this IEP. I said, you know what? It doesn't matter if we sit on present levels for 50 IEP meetings. I don't give a shit. We need to get these present levels on check, on point, before we create goals. Period. So if we got to talk about it, and I got to hammer it into your damn heads, because all I go off of is the evaluations that you all did, or the IEEs, I don't pull it out of thin air. Okay? I do not pull goals or anything in regards to a child out of thin air. It's always from data. So if I'm saying put this shit in the darn present levels, you better put it in the darn present levels, because it's in the evaluations. So you're going to put it in the present levels, because you're going to note where that child's need is. You're not going to eliminate that, so you're not accountable. It's not going to happen in my meetings. It is not. So any of you administrators out there that I know watch me, please stop doing that shit, because I will not tolerate it. Ever. All items when it comes to the child's needs will go into that damn present level. You will not act like you're putting the basics and say, oh, we don't have to put everything. No one said you have to put everything in the kitchen sink. But what you do need to put is the damn needs. I don't care about the whole book of strengths and then your 4 words or 4 sentences on needs. The whole point of the child having an IEP is because of those needs. We need to address them. Those needs. Okay? So that this child can make progress. So parents are not, this guy just got on. So parents are not sitting there saying, why is my child not making progress? Why haven't you given me data? What is going on? I have no idea what's going on. They haven't given me a PWN. They haven't given me a progress report. I haven't seen any of that in forever. And if you have, then you're seeing, I hate progress reports. I know they're mandatory, but I can't stand them. Or you know what? They need to give them to me so I can redo them for them. And I think I'm going to do that for some of my clients, because I don't want a progress report that says, here's your goal, wherever the goal is. Met, not met, almost met, haven't started. WTF, seriously. What does that tell me? Every 9 weeks, you're going to tell me met, not met, almost met, haven't started. Okay. Your point is? No! I want, met. Okay, cool. Hand me the tangible data, because they do have to provide you tangible data. Okay? Yes, you can have, data that's, written, the ones you can see, the things that are, the data that the teacher has taken, all of those things are fine. Trials, times, etc. If the teacher's taking proper data. But that doesn't mean you don't get that tangible data, all right, along with those evaluations, okay? And lately, schools have been shoving in my face this IXL. Have you guys heard of that one? That thing can kiss my ass, all right? I don't care about it. And if you're going to provide parents with, the IXL or any of those other benchmark assessments, okay, you're going to do that, all right, my friends? You're going to give them all of the scoring. You're not going to just hand them. Hang on, I'm going to show you. This parent has given me permission. All right. Stupid. Oh my God. All right. Where'd I put it? Hold on. All right, well, I'm going to just take the child's name out. All right. I don't know if y'all can see it. Can you see it? Here, let me see. Can y'all see it? Can you see it a little bit? So what it is it says identify numbers up to 3. This is math pre-K. So you start at like a lower level and you gradually go up to where you're going to kind of cap off. And 100%, 100%, 100%, 100% tells you how long the child's on for 1 minute. These kind of assessments, or they're not assessments, just so you know. Okay, but they'll call them an assessment. They will call them an assessment in a heartbeat. So they fakeify you. I call it trickery. Then let's move up to, all right. So the highest you went was 4th grade. And mind you, this is a 9th grader. And multiplication facts up to 10. Okay, she got 100 there. Compare using numbers, 100 there, 100. Then sort factors and numerical expressions. This is 15%. That was 8th grade work. So she obviously couldn't do that. But bottom line, what happened, all right, is this is a child that can talk. All right. Yeah. I'll take a picture because this doesn't have her name on it. So I'll show you guys. All right. Or if you want, I'll take a picture, Aaron, and you can post it. But bottom line, all right, here's the thing, is these assessments that you get, all right, there's the IXL, there's, iReady, there's, what's that one that your son does, Aaron? What's it called? There's another one out there. I'm drawing a blank. But it's another benchmark type assessment where your child takes it they're supposed to take it 3 times a year. All right. And in the 3 times a year, all right, they take, it's supposed to show, okay, this is where your child is now. This is where they are right before Christmas. This is where they are. They can even take it right after Christmas. And then this is where they are in the spring. Well, that's not what they're doing, guys. Let me tell you what they're doing. Yeah, iReady, but there's another one. It's called, what is it called? Let me see if I can look at it because I want to tell you, because it's one that is a lot. I'm gonna tell y'all. Give me 2 seconds. All right, Ames Web. All right, so Ames Web Plus. All right, is what it's called. Yep, Ames Web, Chrissy. All right, so let me tell you what they do. All right, because this is a child that can talk. She's just, yeah, that's right, Jean. And so, what this child told her mom, because she can talk, she's had conversations with me. We record them because just in case we ever had to use them in due process, I want to make sure that everything's recorded. When I've given her things that I've tested her on, for example, for comprehension, vocabulary. I've done the visualizing and verbalizing with her since I'm trained with that with Linda Mubel. And I've done the whole picture and imagery with her. I've done a bunch of things, and so she's able to say, she's of course behind. She's of course has needs and deficits academically as well and socially, but she's very capable of telling you, hey, I was at school today and so made fun of me, or the teacher made me do this. She can do that. All right. And so I asked her, and mom asked her, do you know they made her do this assessment over and over and over and over until she got those grades, those numbers? That's what happened. And this is what they're doing anyway. Even without her telling us, that's what they're doing anyway. Little children have told me this. All right. And it's something that's happening all the time. They did it with my own daughter with the STAR evaluation. That one's a little bit more respectable, if you will. And it's owned by Renaissance, but I had a huge talk with Renaissance where they walked me through the whole program and told me how to look at things, how to look at how it's rated, and how there's so many different ways in which you can see how your child's doing, but the school doesn't give it to you. They give you one piece of paper or two pieces of paper, and it doesn't show you what you need to see. That beginning, okay, they started here. Let's just go with a number, say 200. And at Christmas, they were at 450. And, at the end of the year, they were at 700. They don't show you any of that. All right. They just show you 100, this, that, the other. Oh, they did good. Oh, they're on the 5th grade level. I mean, it's very basic. So it's hard for you thinking, oh, okay, this is all that we're given. And so it's very difficult to create questions based off of a shit document that gives you nothing to ask because there's nothing there. And so you're in this predicament because you don't know if there's more. I wouldn't know if there was more if I didn't, go through everything and the hell I went through with my own daughter. And, they did Lexia and STAR with her and bullshitted me up one end and down the other. And I had no idea what that was back when they did that. I had no idea. I had no idea that Lexia had like 8 different scoring reports color coded, and a lot of times they'll give my parents just like this one, black and white, when the color is what actually gives you so much information. And so they leave all of this out, and wow, we are given that from our STAR about, and it's so frustrating. And I'm done putting up with it. I'm done having any type of patience with school districts who pull this shit. I have no problems telling them what I feel and think. And I'm not playing that game with them anymore. I'm not. And I tell my parents, I am not playing this game with them. They're going to do a 180 real quick because I'm not playing that game. I do not do power struggles. I do not play games. And I could tell you the games they're playing right before they play them. And it's almost like a thing that school districts do. They all kind of do things almost the same, just maybe in a different way. And it's just not slick anymore, y'all. You're not slick, all right? We are catching on. The parents are getting really smart, and we're catching on, all right? So stop. Be honest. Be transparent about where the child is. If you effed up, say so. I won't hold you accountable if you tell me that you effed up. I will tell you that you will need to make that right, but I will respect you for telling me you effed up. But if you want to play games and give me one excuse up and down the other and go on and on about the BS, we're gonna have some serious problems. Because the thing is, y'all, when you start lying, you forget all the lies that you told, and it all starts coming out. And I'm really good at these kind of puzzles. So all the stuff that these districts are doing, I catch on like this, that, and the other, right, Aaron? And it doesn't get past me. I've done this way too long. It's almost like I feel it coming before it even comes. It's like this feeling. And I'm having to teach a parent that I have right now, all right, I know you get along with a teacher. I know you do. But now that we sent this email to the district and to the psychologist, who's a royal bitch in New York, the teacher is now a puppet. That's what the teacher is now. So be very careful. Because unfortunately, that's what happens, is you get mad at the district because they screwed up. Then the teacher becomes their puppet and the one that delivers the information to you when it's not even the teacher that was the problem at all. So basically, the district has no problems throwing the teachers under the bus and seemingly act like they're the bad ones when they're not the bad ones. It's the district. But they make the teacher be the gopher and the person that delivers the nasty information to you. That's what's happening. Okay? So all these questions, you guys are becoming advocates. You guys are starting to advocate for yourself. You're starting to become really knowledgeable in the things that you're asking and saying and doing. And you're saying what you need to say. Maybe you're awesome. She wants me to show you her puppet. She has a puppet. Okay. So, do you want to show another one? All right, so she has this one. She wants me to show you this one. She loves her puppet. Oh, you want me to show that one too? Want me to show you this one? All right, just bear with me. All right, she wants me to show this one too. What is this? Horse puppet. Oh, it's a horse puppet. Okay, so this is a horse puppet. All right. Oh, this is your big one, huh? This is her big one. Okay, one more. All right, here's her last one. All right, good job. You did. You showed them. Good job. Okay. So, Erin says, hi, Sky. Do you say hi, Sky, or do you say hi, Erin? Hi, Erin. That's right. Okay, Leo wants to say hi, too. Okay, go play, Leo. All right. So, let's get back to ADHD. So, dysregulation with emotions and this new science, you guys can look it up yourself, okay? And it's the science of ADHD emotions, all right? And it's called that for a reason, all right? And it's important for you guys to be very mindful of this, because this is why, okay? This is why you're getting those notes. This is why you're getting your child can't focus. This is why you're getting those, that your child's all over the place. They're unable to finish their work. They're unable to stay organized. They're not turning in their work. All right. All of that comes down to a lot of things, but emotions is one of them. And I'm not a psychologist, but it's kind of common sense, right? But the science says it too, so I kind of check myself. But sensitivity and overwhelm is big with ADHD. They want to fit in. I was working with a student, or in an IEP with a student that the IEP went beautifully this afternoon. And this child is taking so many crazy classes in high school. They totally swept reading under the rug. But she's doing well in other subjects, all right? But she wants to fit in so bad that she's putting all this pressure on herself. And certain things that are important are being missed, all right, by everybody. Oh, she's doing well in science. Oh, she's doing well in, math. Or she's, doing well in math. Be careful with the puppy, Skylar. Put him down. Put him down. Skylar, Michelle. You don't want to wait. Don't do it again. You don't want to wait until your child like grows out of it. All right, because you want to address these emotions. Yeah. You want to make sure. Oh, guys, if you haven't clicked that link that's going across, it's like StreamYard.com. Yeah, right there. StreamYard.com/Facebook. People on the group or personal page may have to click that and say yes, that your picture can show up on your Facebook, which it always does, except on this because it's selected. So children don't just typically grow out of having emotions or dysregulation or sensitivity or overwhelm. We all have that, all right? But when they feel those deep emotions and they kind of fester with children with ADHD more so than you and I, all right? And they hold on to them longer, all right? So they're not able to mentally sometimes just let it go or let that frustration go. And so it just keeps festering and festering and affects them all day versus it being changed at the start. And it can be changed at the start. But the problem is with this science that I have read, it's talking about the ADHD and the brain and how emotion and the dysregulation of it is affecting so many kids in the school system, but it's not coming out in the diagnostics. It's not something that's being seen. All right. But it's also something that's been very ignored. All right. So see, I have an evaluation here and it goes through academics. It goes through, visual processing. It goes through short-term memory. It goes through long-term memory. And do you know the emotional portion of it is like that big compared to the page of this, half a page of this. The emotional regulation piece is this, and it's not even on things that are really beneficial. Okay, so just be mindful of that. All right, things that you will see: tantrums. All right. You will also see aggressive behaviors, and sometimes you will see self-injury. So biting, kicking. Some kids do head banging. You have aggressive behaviors, biting, hitting, throwing, all of those things. And then you have the tantrums, and you have a lot of the things that you're more than likely, if you have a child with ADHD, hearing a lot about, that they're not focused, that they're not organized, they're not turning things in, and it's not about bad kids. All right. Many children with ADHD, believe it or not, don't have a BIP. And if there's any type of behavior issue that isn't fully being addressed with accommodations, you have to have a BIP. All right. You have to obviously start off with, hey, David, come get the puppy. You obviously have to start off with a FDA. But let dad get the puppy, Sky. But you have to make sure that they don't say, oh, we can handle this. We can handle this with accommodations. We can handle this with just putting these things in place, right? No. All right? Because guess what? They're just going to come back. Oh my gosh, on YouTube, I keep having these like troll people. I have to keep blocking them. What's up with YouTube? All right. So it's very, very, very important that you address it now, and stay consistent, and not let the things be swept under the rug because they're really small. Okay? Because think about it. Really small things that add up are more of an issue than the big things that we solve. All right? Same with life, right? The big things we're like, okay, we got to deal with it. We got to handle it, blah, 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 right? But then we have all these little things that pile on top of each other over and over and over and over, and you're ready to lose your mind, right? That's what's happening, all right? Is you have where it's talking here about as many as 80% of adults with ADHD have at least one coexisting psychiatric disorder, all right? That doesn't mean anything. All right, it can literally be things that are simply addressed. All right, for example, all right, and I know this for a fact. All right, and a coexisting psychiatric disorder sounds so bad, right? It could be as simple as anxiety. That's it. And a lot of kids with ADHD have anxiety. All right, and a lot of people who don't have ADHD have anxiety, but it's still under that psychiatric disorder, if you will, or depression, or all these things that are just huge today, right? So it's important that they feel the emotions, that we understand that they feel them more deeply and hold on to them longer. It's important that we understand the behavior that can stem from these emotions that come from having ADHD and the impact of that disability that's affecting your child in the educational setting. Not being organized, not being focused, not finishing their work, talking out of turn, getting up out of their seat, not being able to sit still. All of those things that we hear all the time. But they might not have a BIP, or if they do have a BIP, believe me, I've seen a ton of shit BIPs in my day, and recently, and all the time. Okay, actually, all the time now. Very rarely do I see a really good BIP. Because a really good BIP would mean that you're not getting any more letters anymore. Would be you're not getting any more communication sheets that say your child did this, this, and this today. You are no longer, other than seldomly, getting anything because the BIP is working. And if it's not working, then the job of hopefully the PCBA, hopefully, many of you don't deal with that, but I'm not a fan of psychologists and PIPs. Not. And the key thing is having and only being 3.5 months out of finishing my I have my master's, but having becoming where you can take the assessment or the test to become a BCBA. Okay, so it's a program. And having done a lot of FBAs and having done a lot of PhDs and having thousands of hours of experience, I believe I'm not a BCA, I'm not, but 3.5 months I could be. But I don't want to be, by the way. What I'm saying though is a lot of psychologists, unfortunately, and this is nothing against psychologists, are not writing the BIPs appropriately. And there was a case in New York that one of my clients actually just recently shared with me. And I had heard of it, but I had not actually seen the case and read it. Where in New York, there were so many different problems when it comes to behavior. And children and most of them, believe it or not, had ADHD. And there were all these behavior issues. They weren't doing FBAs. They weren't handling the situation. And it was just piling up with all these complaints. And then they finally were taken to due process by multiple parents. And this case was quite clear on what had to happen. So FBAs became more prominent. It's not excellent. It's not an excellent system yet. I don't think it's ever going to be perfect and excellent at all times, but it's getting better. The bad thing about New York when it comes to FBAs is that in all other states, we can ask for an FBA as a standalone. In New York, you can't ask for an FBA as a standalone. It has to have been incorporated with an evaluation. So if your child had a speech, an OT, and a psychoed, and an FBA, then you could ask for an FBA as an IEP. But if your child has not had an evaluation and you're wanting them to have just an FBA, and the school does the FBA, you cannot ask for an IEP. It's stupid. So it's something they push for because they know that if they do it as a standalone, so be careful of this, New Yorkers, all right? If you do an FBA, incorporate it with other evaluations so it's considered an evaluation and not just an FBA. Because if you just do an FBA, you cannot ask for an IEE in the state of New York. Okay? You can only ask for an FBA IEE in the state of New York when it's incorporated with other assessments. Okay? So, my kids have making dinner and all that, so I apologize. Okay. Next thing. A big thing with emotions, and I'm going to wrap up with this, is creating opportunities, highlighting positive behaviors, and being warm and responsive. All right? So many in the educational system, especially nowadays, are busy and they're overworked, and like nurses, and they're exhausted, and so it's very hard to actually take that moment and spend that time and actually pay attention to that one individual and to show that warmth and care and love. Okay. And then leading to highlighting positive behaviors and being positive about what it is that we're wanting from them. When you ask for something in a positive way, and believe me, I have to work on this too, you're going to get more, okay? But if you ask for things in a negative way, you're going to get less. That's not the way with the school districts, though, okay? So pull that out of your mind. So jacked up, y'all. I sound crazy. I feel crazy. I really do. All right, so let me give you a secret, okay? Everything I tell you and everything that you already know about being a typical human being nice to people, speaking kindly, having respect, doing unto others as you want them to do unto you, all of those things, right, that we all work on every day. None of us are perfect, but these are the things that you work on every day, right? Or I do, but not in IEP meetings. Okay, so take all of that and throw it out the window. Now, I will say, I start off that way. I start off very nice. And I tell IEP teams, I am fair. It's a business. I'm going there for a purpose, not to chit-chat, not to hang out, not to be friends. I have no interest in any of that. What I have interest in is the student's data. Why is the student making progress or not making progress? What's going on? Are the present levels on point? Is the IEP good? Is the IEP serving that child? Have you committed a ton of violations? If you have, why? What is the reason behind it? Have you owned it? Have you not owned it? Are you still screwing up, or have you reined it in? I like to look at all the intricacies and the whole picture to figure out the problem. Now, once my niceness becomes questions, then all shit breaks loose. Well, why did you do that? Okay, well, if you did that, well, then that's why this happened. If he's not listening in class and he's not focused, then he's going to be frustrated because he has no idea what to do because he didn't listen. And the reason he didn't listen is because, I'm just giving you a hypothetical. And the reason he didn't listen is because if you look at his assessments, he has processing issues. He has short-term memory issues. He is only holding information for a split second and then it's gone. So you're thinking he's being bad. You're thinking he's not listening. You're thinking that he's purposely saying, forget you, I'm not listening, I'm going to chit chat with my friends, when really he or she doesn't know what else to do because the information is going in, sitting there, and is then gone. Now, if we think about that, guys, and this is where school districts are missing the picture, all right? And it's not that anybody's stupid. It's not that anybody is not proficient in what they do. It's not that, someone is doing something purposefully. Now, granted, I always say it's not a never. You have your evil people and you have your nice people. But for the most part, people hopefully want to do good and go into teaching for a reason, that they love kids, hopefully. But there has to be some analytical thinking that goes with special education teachers. All right. It cannot be this laziness that I have seen. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it how I see it. The gen ed teachers are doing more than you. And what I want to see is the special ed teachers stepping it up. Being honest, I get you got a lot on your plate. I get it. But then at least be transparent about whatever is going on so that you can have help. We want to help you. Even if that means that I say that the school needs to put a para in there with you to help you because you're alone, or you only have one para but a ton of kids. Don't be scared to say something, even if it's under the table. Because parents and advocates are really good at not throwing people under the bus, but getting a lot of good information. I get a lot of good information, and that person does not get thrown under the bus. But I have that information. I have proof of that information. But they'll never know where I got it. Okay? So I want teachers to do the right thing because I know that's what we went into teaching for. And I know because you guys have told me. For those of you who I've taught directly one-to-one, or that have come to me for goals and present levels and just getting better at them. Not that you guys didn't do well on them, but just getting better at them and more proficient and being able to kind of snap it out really quickly and it not be so difficult. And teachers that I'm friends with, teachers that I'm in groups with, they're frustrated because they want to do right, but they're like stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that's not a good place to be. So throw them under the bus and just don't tell them. Administration, I mean. Until they want to do the right thing, how you treat others is how we're going to treat you back. And if you're not going to serve the child, and you're going to either make it political or bullshit parents or lie. I mean, the lies are just unreal. I get people lie. I get it. I get people lie. I get it happens. I get it's part of life. I get it. Whatever. But I'm sorry. The lies that are told to parents every single day by school districts. No. It's time to stop. Oh, thank you. Your videos have helped me so much. I'm truly blessed to have found you. My daughter's 3rd grade has her initial ETR this Thursday. Ooh, that's exciting and scary at the same time, right? You have to let me know how it goes. But I think you guys get my point. So emotion and the dysregulation of emotion. We're going to kind of continue this because this ADHD subject of emotion is really cool. And I love putting things together. All right. I love those puzzles of, okay, if districts, instead of feeding you the bullshit of, hey guys, your child's average. They're 14%. They're average. Oh, they're on 26%, but they're average. And this is percentiles. There was one that I saw that was a 1%, and it was average. Guys, if it's percentages, just remember 50 is average. Anything under 50 is not average. Okay? And then it's a measurement of all children nationwide, of that grade, of how they scored, etc., etc. Okay? So, my daughter Skylar just turned 10, has autism and ADHD, and this is my second attempt at getting her an IEP. She got turned down for the first one. Oh, you got to call me, Sherry. And they're giving me the runaround saying that the assessments are copyrighted and I can't get a copy. Okay, so let me tell you something about that. All right, I'm going to tell you something about that. But let me wrap up this ADHD real quick, and then we'll chit-chat and I'll answer questions, all right? So post your questions. And I'll stay on here for a few more minutes and answer those questions. And I told another lady that I would address her question as well. All right, so with the ADHD, I got to send my computer in, y'all, so I'm going to be upstairs tomorrow. All right, so when you have, all right, anxiety, and you have restlessness and all of the things that come with ADHD, the mind that won't shut down, everybody's different. It can be anxiety, it can be, a fear of just being around people, it can be the dysregulation of emotions, it can be sensory things that are triggers and happen, it can be focus, it can be attention. Focus and attention isn't always the same thing. All right. Attention is like, what is it that they need to attend to? Is that writing? Is that an academic assessment? Is that, a quiz? Is that a spelling test, etc.? Focus is to something. All right. So focus and, is not the same as the other. Okay. Many times they're skewed. All right. Attention and focus. All right. Attention is something of a physical that is happening within the child to attend to something. It has to do with something. They have to be attending to something to have attention issues. All right. To be able to say, oh, they're not paying attention. Right. Well, focus, it's not, oh, they're not focusing. It's whatever it is that's been given to them is not staying regulated to where the attention stays focused in that area. All right. So you have to have something to attend to in order to have focus, if that makes sense. So maybe I said it kind of weird, but you have to have something to attend to have focus. All right. So for example, you're attending to a organizational binder. All right. The goal is to have an organizational binder in order to accommodate, that's an accommodation, the child. Now, the organizational binder, I think when they're older, they should have a input as to how they want to play that in regards to how it's going to work for them. But when they're younger, we have to kind of figure out what's going to work for them. And it could be, color coded. It can be however it's going to make it right for that child individually. But to say that they're not using their individual and their organizational binder, and they're not focusing on getting it together, getting it organized, utilizing it in order for it to support them and be an accommodation for them. It can't be an accommodation if it's not used properly. Okay? So sometimes children have to be taught how to use an organizational binder in order for it to help at all. So if it's going to be an accommodation, the child needs to know how to use that accommodation in order for it to accommodate them. So you and I can say, okay, this is going to be a good accommodation, but if the child doesn't know how to utilize that accommodation in order for it to serve them or for that accommodation to be provided to them at all times, not just as needed, then it's not an accommodation. It's something given to them when somebody, I guess, feels like it or decides it's the time to give it to them. I don't know. That's why there has to be that specificity in the IEP in regards to when is that accommodation given? What time? How much? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it 3 times a week? Is it only at 1 o'clock? When is that accommodation given? If it's at all the times, it better be sitting by that child at all times. Or they need to know, okay, it's over there on the bookshelf. You need to pay attention to these things. If an accommodation is daily, you better know what that damn accommodation is. Especially if it's something physical. All right, where's it at? My child has ADHD. My child has an organizational binder. Where is it every day? At all times. From whenever they're in school, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever it is, where is that organizational binder? when between 9 and 3. Find out. If your child has a bouncy seat, I love those seats, but a lot of schools want to stay away from them. But I think they're great for children with ADHD because they're still able to move. It's like a circle chair or like a, one of those like yoga ball kind of things, but they're small. And it's like a chair, and the back of it has kind of a ball kind of thing too. So it actually helps them to sit up straight. And then it also helps them if they want to bounce or whatever they want to do in order to accommodate them and to either help posture or help them with their regulation and their system and being able to self-regulate what's going on inside. All right, because some of these kids cannot stop moving, and we can't make them stop moving. So we can't sit and keep bitching about them moving. We need to start accommodating them and their movement. All right, so it's kind of like you need to say, stop bitching. Let's start resolving. Resolving is the way that I like to go. Not bitching about what the disability is, because they wouldn't have an IEP if they didn't have a disability, and they wouldn't have an IEP if that impact of that disability wasn't affecting them in the damn school. So we need to solve the problems instead of bitching about what the children are doing. We need to know what the children are doing, but we don't want to hear negative, 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 negative. And if you're going to feed us a lot of negative people, all right, I'm talking to all of you who are writing daily reports to parents and communication reports and, weekly reports or emails or whatever. Your child did this today. Your child didn't focus. Your child hit so-and-so. Your child, was nasty. Your child spit on the ground. Your child wasn't focused. Your child didn't take this assessment. Your child didn't turn in his work on time. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. What are you doing about it? I'm not at school. What are you doing about it? Start asking yourself, does the child has the child had an FBA? Does the child have a BIP? Are they following the BIP with fidelity? That's the thing that pisses me off, is most people don't know how to follow a BIP. And do you know most people haven't even seen the BIP? That's a big one. A big one. I've asked service providers, speech therapists, occupational therapists. So, are you following the BIP? Do you have a copy of it? Do you hold on to it during the day? When you have the child, is it pulled up so that you know the steps? Because I always create steps in my BIPs. 1, what's going to happen if this happens? Number 2, number 3, and always an emergency plan. The emergency plan doesn't have to be with, restraints. All right. Now it can be, but it doesn't have to be. All right. An emergency plan can be a step-by-step of what happens when XYZ behavior happens, and that it always includes that the child cannot be suspended due to these behaviors because they're an impact of the child's disability. All right. So I always like to add that. So when I ask a service provider, how do they do it? How are, the child's acting up, the child's not focusing, the child doesn't, they don't want to have the child in therapy because the child's not listening, the child's not focused. Oh, he's not paying attention anyway. Well, is it he's not paying attention, or is it you're not engaging with him? Or is he not paying attention, or is it you don't know how to engage with him because you have no idea how to work the BIP? So all of these questions have to be asked. Don't be afraid to ask them. Quit worrying about people's feelings. You cannot worry about people's feelings in special ed. You just can't. I'm sorry, but you can't. All right. It's either you're worried about somebody's feelings, you're worried about, being respectful all the time and, tiptoeing around, or you're going to get down to business and you're going to ask what's going on with your child. You're going to figure out what's going on, and you're going to do that however it is that you need to do that. And if you offend somebody along the way, oh, well, it's not personal. That's what you have to have. That's the attitude you have to have. This isn't about, hey, let's all be friends. Let me be very cautious about my thoughts, and let me be very cautious about the things that I say, and let me keep my mouth shut and not say anything. This is your damn child's education. Stop shutting your mouth. Open it. Open it big. All right. The more noise you make, the more change happens. Say that. That's a shirt, Aaron. The more noise you make, the more change that happens. The more you make in noise, the more change that happens. The more silent you are, the more things get thrown under the rug. Why would they pay attention to you? You're not saying anything. You're not doing anything about it. You're not holding them accountable. You're not saying, oh, they violated. I'm going to make a complaint, or I'm going to make an OCR complaint because they discriminated against my child and didn't give my child an accommodation or a service, or I'm not going to take my school to due process or mediation because, I'm just too scared and I don't know what to do and I don't want to hire an attorney and I don't want this and I don't want that. We, as difficult as these decisions are, as parents, caregivers, grandparents, whomever, CEOs do what? Make decisions. Good or bad, right or wrong, we are not perfect, but we make decisions. If you're going to become the CEO of your child's IEP meeting, better become good at making decisions. I don't care if you screw up. You're not going to. Do you think I did it right every time? Do you think I still do it right every time? No one's perfect. And I'm damn good at what I do. But nobody's perfect. And you can fix it. If you screw up, you can fix it. It's not hard. But instead, many parents that I've worked with, and they're no longer, they have definitely, there's some things that I'd want to say on here, but I didn't need to be quiet because you never know who's listening. You will become stronger by being your child's voice. And by being your child's voice isn't about always saying something that's not going to offend somebody. Because if you're talking to a teacher, and bless their hearts, as much as I love teachers, sometimes, just like you and I, they don't know everything. And if you're coming in and going into the gate, if you will, and saying what you're doing ain't working, but that doesn't mean you're a bad teacher. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you are bad. It doesn't mean anything other than what you're doing with my child is not working. And if it's not working, change has to happen. And for some reason, that's where the disconnect is people need to stop taking things personally and be ready to jump and make a change when something's not working. And they need to start recognizing when change isn't happening and taking the initiative and taking it upon themselves to make the change versus the parent get all nice and pissed off and then they make the change. All right? It shouldn't be, at your annual, Leo, no, sir. It shouldn't be, and I'm going to wrap this up. It shouldn't be where you're at the annual IEP meeting and you find out all the shit that's been happening in the last 6 months and you had no clue. No clue. Oh, we were just waiting to the IEP meeting to let you know. I heard that recently. We were just waiting for the IEP meeting. We were going to let you know. Seriously. You just didn't think that you should email the parent and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that your child's struggling in reading. And I'm not sure what's going on. This is what I'm doing. We need to figure out together, and I'm reaching out to you, the parent, pretend I'm the teacher. I'm reaching out to you to see if you have any ideas or what your thoughts are, or bring parents into the classroom and have them observe what you're doing. Parents are not going to be, where, I was told by an attorney recently, where they said, we got to be careful with you because, if we say anything, you jump. Well, you damn right I do. Because when you say things and that's the way that you're doing them, and I know damn well that it's not the right way to do them, and it is causing a lot of the issues that are happening, and for some reason it's not clicking, I'm going to call you on it. So if you don't want to be called on it or be called out on TikTok, and then give me a call and say, hey, why did you talk about me on TikTok? I didn't say your name. And if you don't want me to talk about it on TikTok, then don't do it. Or make a joke of it. Because I'm going to teach parents. So school districts, if you don't want me coming out with these things that you're doing, then stop doing them. And I'm going to start coming out with things, and I'm going to start naming districts. I am going to be probably the first advocate that's going to start doing that, because parents need to know. And I won't say people's names. I won't say anything negative about a person, because I'm just going to be respectful like that. But if you piss me off enough, I will call out your district. And if I do, I will make sure that I have it really good on recording of what you did. Because in my mind, here's how I look at it, and then I'm going to let you go and I'm going to look at your questions. Is if I'm looked at as she is such a B, or oh, she is aggressive at what she does, and I make change and I help parents pick themselves up from this rut that they've been in, and overwhelm, and really a depression that many people have been in, and sadness and feeling of helplessness of how do I help my children? I don't know what to do, even though you have the knowledge of a lot of things. Then I did my job. Because if it's not working, just say so and make a change. It's as simple as that. We will not fault you for owning what didn't work and making a change, because that's what all human beings do. But if you're not going to acknowledge it, you're not going to tell a parent until like a couple months later in the IEP meeting or the annual IEP meeting, or you didn't even tell them in the progress report and the information there, or in a communication sheet or anything like that, and then you're going to talk about it in the IEP meeting, oh, hell no. No, 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 no. That is not okay at all. That is intentionally harming a child, okay? To intentionally hurt someone and to affect them and their education is called deliberate indifference. And what that means is that you knowingly chose to make that decision, knowing that it wasn't working, or knowing that it was going to hurt my child and cause educational harm. So if you know it and you know it's not working, that child is not making progress, and you purposefully continue it and not make a change, that is deliberate indifference and a violation of faith. And I'll hold you accountable for that one. And I have. So don't do it. Okay? All right. Let me go back and answer some questions, and we're going to go. All right. So, BB, hello. How are you? Make sure you post questions below. I'll answer them later if you're catching the replay. Davinia and Debbie, Kim and Lana. Hello, hello, hello. We got Cindy in Ohio and Aaron. And then we have Jim. Hello, welcome. And we have Jess Ann. So is it you that asked me that question? Hi, Raven, New York here. 10 years old, autism, other disabilities. It's been hell. Okay, you're the one who said that things are starting to go well. So that's a good thing, right? Then Aaron says, the fan thing. I know, I'm getting it fixed. I got to send it to Apple. Made my resource teachers responsible for not dealing with my children's needs. They are now, especially after I went to the school board and pressed the issue for an IEP review. That's excellent. Debbie says, what do you think about 7th grade boys and girls giving love notes? I answered that one. I think it's cute. Yes, happy Valentine's Day, Cindy. Christina Hollis, hello, hello. Hey, Bill, how are you? I'm glad y'all's IEP went good. Then Jess Ann, believe me, I know I can't stand New York. Yeah. Just cocky, you northerners. But just take that cocky and then throw it into an IEP team and administration. And damn. I mean, yeah. Illinois is pretty bad. In Pennsylvania, those three. California has been like cake recently. Like, they're easy breezy. As far as dealing with them, that doesn't mean it doesn't take some time and whatever, but they've been a lot better at, their comeback, or maybe they've just learned their lesson. I don't know. I think I dealt with them so much during COVID. I mean, I raised some hell in California. Now I need to raise some hell in New York. Let me tell you real quick. You guys from New York, Bill? Okay, so psychologists, how they kind of take over in like certain areas in New York. This is New York City. And so the psychologist messages us and she says, because the mom paid for an evaluation and I'm not going to give it to you right away. You don't give us stuff right away. I'm not going to give it to you right away. Okay, she ends up, giving it to us, but she sent an email saying, hey, let's make sure we exchange everything by Friday, which was this past Friday, right? Well, she gave her stuff, I think it was Wednesday, and then on Thursday, she writes an email and says, we're not having the meeting because you didn't give your evaluation to us. Lady, did you not read your email from Monday? The one that you said that we all had to give it on Friday? So I had to email back and say my piece. I mean, it was only like a 2-page email. Not more. Ripped her from one end down to the other. Nothing big. You know what she emailed back today? I sent this Friday with the evaluation. This is what I said, copy and paste her email, where she said, I'm going to get you the evaluations from us by Friday. You get yours to us by Friday. So I copied and pasted that email. And I said a lot more than that. But I said, here's the evaluation that you asked for by Friday. And, if you cancel the IEP meeting, then that will be on you because you're the one who said to get it to you by Friday. I didn't say that, you did. And so it will just show the type of district you are and the type of psychologist you are, who, by the way, does not even know how to do assessments with fidelity. And then I named the things that she did wrong in her assessments. And I said, and the BIP that you did, that was even more interesting. I think it's time for the director to take over because, wait a second. And this just dawned on me when I was writing this. She's not a psychologist. I don't know. This was a new one for me. But maybe it's just New York. She's a certified psychologist. What the hell is a certified psychologist? I Googled it. Google didn't really have much answers. Certified psychologist. So a certified psychologist did the evaluations and did the BIP. When psychologists aren't even trained in doing BIPs, they just go by the blueprint. That doesn't mean they don't have experience. Some of them do. Some of them are actually really good at it. But most of them are not. And she wasn't. Yeah. Well, that's about where we were. So she emails back today. She tried to play the shit off. Oh, even though we got the stuff late, we're in receipt of it. And even though we got it late, we will go ahead and proceed with the meeting. I bet you will. So we'll go ahead and proceed with that. She didn't answer any of my other questions. But she's going to proceed with the meeting. Okay. So I'm going to email you back. So, if you're watching me, I'm going to email you back. And I'm going to let you know that you're going to answer those questions, whether it's in the recorded IEP meeting or an email, but you're going to answer them. Because we're not going to start that IEP meeting until you answer those questions. I just want you to know you're not going to get away with that. All right. I always make my IEP teams answer those questions. A parent is an equal team member, and you will answer every single one of those questions, every last one, to a detail. And if you have to go into grave detail about it because parent doesn't understand, you can do that too. Okay? What? Yes, ma'am. So, that's the kind of advocate I am. All right? You gotta own your shit. All right? When you own your shit, you don't do it again. I'm good. But if you don't own your shit, you keep doing it again, then I'm not good. All right. All right. So, better now. Okay. Sherry. All right. Let's talk to you, Sherry. That's Aaron. So, Sherry, what was Sherry's question? Let's go see. Okay. Can you please answer? Okay. So, let me see where your question is. I'm looking. I promised you I'd answer. I don't see your question, Sherry. Am I missing something? I, as a parent, allowed to see the assessment before the IEP meeting. Oh, 100%. Okay, I just didn't understand. I'm glad I reread that. 800%, 1,000%, 5,000%. All right, what state are you in? I'll tell you how many days before the meeting you're supposed to receive it. Jess Ann. Oh, Kim. It is 2. Jess Ann. Yep, seems better now. Good. We got. You're welcome, Sherry. Let me know where you're from, and I'll tell you how many days. Oh my God, I can't believe I cut you live. Marie, you're funny. I was today years old and noticed recommendations were missing. I'm about to drive, but I can help work this answer shortly. I've got an annual coming up on the 24th and another on the 3rd for my girls. Friday, they brought home progress reports and 1 paper. Nice. I didn't even know to ask for the data sheets. All right. My daughter says she takes it at least twice a week. Yeah, they're teaching them how to memorize, Christina. It's horrible. Jay Welsh says, your videos have helped me so much. I'm truly blessed to have found you. My daughter's 3rd grade and her initial teacher is Thursday. Right? That's right. Good luck. Sherry says, my daughter, Skylar, just turned 10, has autism and ADHD, and this is my 2nd attempt at getting her an IEP. Yeah, you're the one who I said, message me. If she needs an IEP, I will get you one. But if she doesn't need one, I'll tell you that too. I've come to the conclusion that the 45 minutes in small group every day is spent watching the teacher collect data. Your videos have taught me so much. Trust and believe that. I will make this right. In one of your videos today, you said something along the lines of, how the hell did they not notice this child could barely read? Then the number one goal would be comprehension. Yeah, I said that on a lot of videos, is if a child doesn't have word recognition or language knowledge. Language knowledge is just think vocabulary, decoding, things like that. Look up the Scarborough's rope, okay? Um, if your child does not have that, comprehension is not in the cards right now, okay? Because once your child has word knowledge, word recognition, language knowledge, vocabulary, decoding, all of those things, then comprehension just comes. Comprehension doesn't have to be learned because it's learned in the foundation. Word recognition and knowledge, the vocabulary, the decoding, and all those things put together equals comprehension, not then comprehension. Okay. Justin has a wobble chair at school, and we at a desk we stand. All right. I will hush. I'm all over the place with comments. That's okay. Christina says, okay, my ADHD, the school knows about it since she was in pre-K. It was on her IEP. She is in kindergarten now. We have been working with her doctor and OT to help her out. She was withholding coming home in solid clothes. Then she told me they are taking away recess or center time. No. That's a big no. VIP, PIB, or VIP, B as in boy, I as in igloo, P as in ball. Behavior intervention plan. Jean Marie, you're good. Your questions help many others. I'm glad. That's great. School told me told me it takes away from the class, yet they send her to the nurse. What are you referencing, Christina? Aaron said, I would send a note back saying, my child did this ABC, negative feedback. My child is not blank. So what are you not doing? Don't do that in a note. Do that, in an email, and then start it out with a question. Okay. Questions get answers. Statements get defensiveness. Okay. Now, I get defensiveness after I ask 50 million questions, and then I found out what they did wrong, and then I hold them accountable for it. But you got to ask the questions. I know you're busy speaking, but maybe later this was wondering about OT for handwriting. Yes, of course. Absolutely. Both girls have letter to line relation problems like the tail down. Yes, you need to have OT work on writing and writing goals, specific writing goals in order to meet your child's needs. Then one of my girls has to concentrate hard on the act of writing. Okay, that could be holding the pencil with a tripod graph. That could be whatever it is that's affecting her in regards to writing. It could be she just hates writing, or she has weakness in her hands. So we got to find out the problem and then figure out why the writing's becoming a problem. So then we have and whatever they're doing, not doing, is not working. That's right. Christina says, I'm taking her to the children's GI. I'm going to get a note from the doctor. I didn't want to do when I bring it to, I didn't what to do when I, Christina, answer some of those questions for me. Like I asked you one above and then this one. Can you clarify it for me? I want to answer it for you. Sherry says, I am crying because that is how I have felt. Thank God for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. Jean Marie says, those ladies in the meeting are going to be like, yeah, I like that, whole hashtag moms be like. Kim said, hey, I'm not that way. Maybe the school was clueless, but they came around fast. Yeah. I think this ETR will result in an IEP. Do I have to make a decision right then? Absolutely not. Or can I take time to digest? Absolutely. Don't ever make a decision right then. What did you mean, Kim? You're not that way. What does that mean? Aaron says, call it professional courtesy, Kim. 100% exactly. That's another way to let them escape responsibility to assessments accurately on time. The last IEP turned down almost broke me. Felt like I was up against the mafia. See, that is such a horrible thing. Like to feel. I can't afford an attorney, so I'm trying to be the voice for my daughter. I totally get it. Scarborough's wrote. That's what happened today when I was running the meeting. I noted I started making a statement and then would turn them into a question. There you go. When she stated, when she has an accident, I'm going to get a note from the doctor. Okay. Then you just need a potty plan. That's it. A BIP and a potty plan. And don't let them be lazy. You said something about us Northerners. I said Northerners are cocky. And then take that and throw it onto the school district and all the shit that they do. And dear God, all Northerners are cocky. You're nice. But a lot of Northerners can be abrasive and come across like, what did you say? That's rude. But really, they're not being rude kind of thing, right? So that's just how they talk. That's just their thing. I get along with that. I'm totally cool with that. It's a lot how I am. But it can come across that way, to many people. And, that can offend parents. Coming from that end is not as keen as the other way around. Jean Marie says, without it sounding exactly 100%, you're welcome, Christina. So they're saying that the assessments are copyrighted. Okay, so the assessments. All right. The assessments are not copyrighted. That is bullshit. All right? Okay, they're not stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But it is kind of stupid. All right? So, okay. I got a book right here. This is one of my favorite books. All right? Title 34, Education. This is your Bible. Okay? Can't see it, huh? Okay, can you see it a little bit right there? Title 34, Education. This is special education. Law. Read it, memorize it, know it by heart. Just kidding. All right. And then this one. And see, look. United States government. Can you see it? I'm trying to get it for you to see it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do it. Hold up. There we go. United States government. See it? All right. Then I have this one, the Lawyer's Reference Guide, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA Regulation, U.S. Department of Education. That's how I know my shit. All right. So, let me tell you. It's not copyrighted. Can I tell you something? Hang on. I'm gonna be a smart ass. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. All right, hold up. Put this one up. Oh, hold up. Look at this. Ah, no way. This book was copyrighted in 2020. Huh. Hold up. Let me see this one. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. This one was copyrighted in February of 2020. What I'm trying to get to, Sherry. All books are copyrighted. Does that mean you can't buy the book? So hopefully that answered your question. But, for example, I love, okay, for a verbal child, I love Leo. No, sir. If the KTA and the Wyatt 4 are my favorite, okay? The KTA combined with the Wyatt 5 subtests are, it just gives you a really great picture along with some other assessments, and the WISC for the cognitive piece. And, then of course some others, but those 3 put together, they're really good, all right? If they're done right. And so if I said, okay, I want to see the book to the KTA assessment, all right? Pearson owns the KTA, the Wyatt, okay? Then you can have a copy, all right? But if you get a copy, your child can no longer be assessed with that assessment. You understand? So can you buy a book and it be copyrighted because every book is copyrighted? Of course. But if you get the book, okay, the assessment, and it's handed to you and you get to take it home, which you can do. Don't let them bullshit. Oh, it's copyright. We can't give it to you. Nope, we can't. Hold on. Stop it. We can't give it to you. You cannot have it because it's copyrighted. We're gonna lie to you because you're gonna fall for it. So we're gonna tell you it's copyrighted, and you guys are just gonna believe them, because everything that they say is true, don't you know? So 90% of people believe that it's copyrighted. All right, and it's so bullshit. I mean, it is like the biggest bullshitter of bullshit that they put out there. But I give it to them. I mean, people believe it. So if it's an assessment, they hand it over to you, your child can no longer be assessed with that assessment. So that's the downfall. Now, instead, go in and see the book with the teacher or with the psychologist or whoever. Go in and physically see it. Hold it, touch it, look at it, see what questions were asked, whatever. But don't take it home if it's an assessment you believe that you want your child assessed on again. Hey, David, come get this pillow. So you don't want to do that. Okay? You want to make sure, especially the KTA and the Wyatt, don't take those home. Okay? You want those assessments. He's getting it again, David. This puppy. But he's my baby. So if you want a assessment and you want to take it home, remember your child can never be assessed in that again. If you want to see the assessment, but you don't want to take it home because you want your child possibly assessed in that with that assessment again, then just go into the school and see it. But call them out when they say it's copyrighted. Tell them, oh, you mean it's copyrighted like every other book that people buy because the person that wrote the book copyrights it because they don't want people stealing what they wrote. And on top of that, if you look up, this is what I say. And on top of that, if you look up copyrighted means that you can't steal somebody's words. Okay? You can't do that. That's stealing somebody's work, of writing a book, all right? Or like my horses are registered and trademarked. Somebody steals it, I can sue them. I mean, it's one of those things where, he's scary. I mean, and here's the thing is parents know better. They just are so busy thinking IEP, my child, overwhelm, emotion, worry, upset, all the things IEP, that word copyrighted just goes right over our heads. Shoot. We don't even think about the vocabulary word of it. Copyrighted. What does it mean? It means you can't take what I wrote. So does it mean if you saw the book that you're going to go rewrite it and say it was yours? No. Well, then you're not copywriting it. You're not taking that work. You're not taking that work and taking it as your own. You want to look at it because you want to see what your child did. That's what that is. That's not copyright. And if you what I've asked schools before too is, do you want me to go in the Webster's dictionary and send you a copy of the definition so that you understand that, copyright does not mean that you show the parent the assessment and that they copyrighted it for some reason, or that the assessment, or let's just say Pearson says that the parent can't see the assessment, because I know good and well that Pearson doesn't say that. And Pearson will tell you that straight up, that their books and their assessments can be shown to the parents. So why would you tell me that it's copyrighted when that's not true? Call them out on it, see what they say. And say it like that. Say like, why would you do that? Like, how dare you? I know better. Pearson says you can see the assessments. Why would you say that I can't see the assessments? And why would you say that it's copyrighted? Of course it's copyrighted. Pearson wrote it and did it, and it's theirs. It's not yours. It's not mine. Does it mean you copyrighted it because you got a copy of it? A great way to reach Raven. Yes. It didn't all come up, Aaron, because it doesn't. See? So you gotta copy the rest. A good way to reach me is on WhatsApp, and she'll send you the link. So Jean says, okay, it's hard for us moms. You've got to be everything. Give. Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm saying. The copyright part, it just kind of goes over our heads. It's not because we're not, we don't know what that means. It means that we got so much else on our minds, and all these assessments, and trying to figure them out, and all the bullshit that comes with them, and average. Everybody's child's average, but they got IEPs, but they're average. And, your child's average, guys. Your child is average. Okay? So, why they did the assessment to tell you that your child was average, I have no idea. No clue. Or start thinking, my child is not average. Sounds maybe bad to you, but it doesn't to me. I'm not average. I would hope that you're not average. I'm way above average. And I hope you think that of yourself too. So, don't call my child average. And then you're telling me my child's average in comparison to all the other kids of my child's grade or age? Yeah, well, my child's a lot more than that too. So, stop falling for that stuff. I'm not average. And I know you're not either, because you're not on here listening to me for an hour and 44 minutes because you're average. You're listening because you want to learn more, because you want to do better by your child, and learning is the way to do it. I wish I had that. And, go be that badass. Don't let somebody tell you different. And don't let them to put you down. Don't let them gaslight you. Don't let them stall. Don't let them play games. You're too smart for that. That's why I say, get rid of the emotion, as hard as it is. But you got to change your thinking. In an IEP meeting, whether it's virtual or in person, I always say go virtual. Okay? That's the thing now. All right, the best way to go. I tell teams straight up, I can be fair. I love to get along, and I love to collaborate. That doesn't mean we're always going to get along. I mean, this doesn't mean we're always going to agree. But I want to collaborate. I want to collaborate. I want to get along. I want to hear what they have to say, because a lot of times they have a ton of stuff to say, as long as administration didn't tell them to shut up, and as long as they can talk. Because teachers have a whole lot to say. And then I find out when they start talking, oh my God, I'm so glad you started talking, because they've been told to shut up this whole time. And so I want them to talk. Don't let me intimidate you. I should not be intimidating you. I'm not intimidating. You let me intimidate you. I'm not intimidating. There's nothing about me that makes me some special person that I'm going to intimidate you because I'm going to do what? Yeah, I can hold you accountable. I can make you do a lot of paperwork. I can more than likely make your life hell, but I'm not intimidating. All right. Just a regular old person. All right. That is doing their job. And I do it for the kids, not you, not me, and not the parents. I do it for the kids. The parents hire me to do it for the kids. So when you look at it like that, stop thinking of me as intimidating. Don't think I'm difficult. I'm not difficult. You make me difficult because you want to play games, and I'm not going to play games. It's as simple as that. Stop playing games and we'll all get along. I don't play games. I played too many games when I was in my 20s that, like, I'm all gamed out. All right, I'll play Othello. I like playing Othello. I like kicking my husband's ass in that. He's won a couple times, but I usually win. And then I like checkers. I can't stand Scrabble. I don't like vocabulary, but I like to learn vocabulary. All right, I'm always learning new words. So just be better, guys. You guys are so smart. All right, and you guys have the knowledge. It's there. All right, but all this emotion gets in the way. All right, so just keep learning, keep being you, keep being awesome, keep sticking up for your kids, keep advocating for them, and don't let anybody tell you any different. That, you know, what you're doing is wrong or whatever. Do we do everything right all the time? No, but that doesn't mean what you're doing is wrong. Okay, you know your child better than anybody. All right, so I'm gonna go, guys. Do you remember the A B C D E F? Then they added E and I. Now Common Core, only 4 states opted out. I got tears when my son had 2 eraser boards to divide. Raven, the Gordon Ramsay of education. Who's Gordon Ramsay? Sounds familiar. Who's Gordon Ramsay? Oh, is that cook guy? The cook? Is Gordon Ramsay that cook, like that badass cook with like the fire and stuff? I'll be the Gordon Ramsay of education. Thank you. But I have to say, I really like the one on my, yes, the cook. Okay. I really like the one too on my reviews where it says that I'm the Aaron Brockovich of education. I really like that too. But I like this Gordon Ramsay. That's a good one. You should put that on my reviews. I like that. Put that on the reviews. I like that. I like that. That is good. All right. So I will see you guys later on this week. I'm not going to tell you a day because I never stick to it. I'm really bad about that. Really bad about it. And I'm getting better. I'm really bad at it. Because I'll get overwhelmed with IEPs and then I'm just frustrated. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to give you guys, it would be a disservice to you. You know, when I'm frustrated and I'm like ready to like shoot my own self because I'm frustrated, I'm not going to give a good live. I'm ready to shoot myself because I'm just so brain dead at that point. You're welcome, Sherry. Isn't that why you say that you help parents gain the knowledge and confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting? Yes. Can you go to Chanel channel? Go to the channel named Brandy Proctor. What's that? You're welcome. Can you go to the channel? Why would I go to Brandy Proctor? I don't even know who Brandy Proctor is. You? Okay. Hi, Brandy. See you later. You're blocked now. Okay, fine. Okay, guys. So I will talk to you soon. Thank you for sticking on with me. I will see you this week. Oh, don't forget to follow me. Click follow on TikTok. I do some funny shit on there. All right, that's where you're gonna really see my personality shine because I'm not always serious. I really like to have fun, and I love TikTok. And I think it gives me the perfect platform to do that. But then I'm also teaching on. You want to know my struggle? I'm trying to figure out what to say in a minute. That is hard for me. I mean, what the heck do you say in a minute? How do you teach someone in a minute? But I'm figuring it out. I'm doing it better. Then they say, oh, you got to do less than 30 seconds. Well, what the hell am I going to teach in 30 seconds? How do you do that? The algorithms will go up if you do it in less than 30 seconds. Well, how do you teach in 30 seconds? I'm going to try. But you'll see my personality on there, so go follow me. All right? And you can do the same on Instagram. All right, guys? I'll see you later. Have a great night.